During the Bosnian War from 1992 to 1995, over 100,000 people lost their lives, not just soldiers on the front lines, but also innocent civilians, neighbors, and friends, who once lived side by side. The violence did not discriminate, tearing through families and communities with devastating force. The conflict shattered the very fabric of society, turning people who once shared daily life, laughter, and traditions into enemies almost overnight. Streets that once echoed with children's voices became silent, marked by fear and suspicion. Ethnic cleansing campaigns forced entire families from their homes, separated loved ones, and imprisoned thousands. Many were murdered simply for their identity, their only crime being who they were or where they were born. For Bosniaks, and for many others, it became a desperate fight for survival. Every day was a struggle to find shelter, to protect children, and to hold on to hope in the face of relentless danger. The world watched in silence, and international help was slow to arrive. People were left to rely on each other for food, water, and safety, forming tight bonds in the darkest of times. Ordinary citizens became unexpected heroes, risking their lives to help neighbors, share what little they had, and keep hope alive when official help never came. Yet, amid the violence and destruction, stories of resilience and unity emerged, proof that the human spirit can endure even the darkest times. Communities found ways to rebuild, to comfort one another, and to dream of peace. Today, as political tensions rise again and old wounds threaten to reopen, the lessons from that era are more urgent than ever before. The scars of war remain, but so do the memories of solidarity and courage. The threat of renewed violence is real, and the echoes of the past are growing louder, reminding us how fragile peace can be. These stories remind us that unity is the strongest defense against hatred, and that only by standing together can we prevent history from repeating itself. The siege of Sarajevo was the longest in modern history, nearly 4 years of relentless shelling and sniper fire. The city was encircled, its people trapped in a daily struggle for survival as the world watched from afar. Every street, every building became a front line, and every day brought new dangers. Cut off from the world, citizens faced daily terror with scarce food, water, and medicine. Simple tasks like fetching water or bread became life-threatening missions as snipers targeted anyone who dared to venture outside. Families huddled together in basements, hoping to survive another night. But survival wasn't just about endurance, it was about resistance. Ordinary people became heroes, finding ways to defy the siege and keep hope alive. Their courage was seen in every act of defiance, big or small. Secret schools operated in basements, doctors performed surgeries by candlelight, and artists held concerts in ruins. Education, healing, and culture became forms of resistance, helping people hold on to their humanity amid chaos. The Sarajevo Tunnel, dug by hand beneath the airport, became the city's lifeline, smuggling in food, medicine, and hope. It was a narrow, dark passage, but for many it meant the difference between life and death. This tunnel was a symbol of collective determination, built by and for the community. Volunteers worked day and night, risking everything to connect Sarajevo to the outside world. When governments and aid failed, neighbors became each other's support system. People formed networks of trust, sharing whatever little they had. People shared their last bread, protected each other's children, and risked their lives for strangers. Acts of kindness and bravery became the fabric of daily life. Sarajevo's story is a testament. Solidarity is the strongest shield against destruction. In unity, the people found strength to endure the unimaginable. Their resilience continues to inspire the world. The faces of Sarajevo, marked by hardship, also shine with hope and determination. In the darkest times, community power made survival possible. It was the spirit of togetherness that kept the city alive. The city's spirit could not be broken. Even after the siege, Sarajevans rebuilt their homes and their lives, determined to move forward. Even today, Sarajevo stands as a symbol of hope and unity, a living reminder that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, the human spirit can prevail. Beyond the front lines, ordinary people fought a quieter war, one of compassion and courage. While the world's attention was fixed on soldiers and battles, countless civilians faced daily choices that demanded extraordinary bravery. Their struggle was not for territory, but for the survival of their neighbors, friends, and even strangers. In towns where ethnic tensions ran high, some risked everything to protect neighbors of different backgrounds. They hid families, shared food, and offered shelter to those in danger, often defying the expectations of their own communities. These acts of solidarity were quiet but powerful. Many helped others escape, guiding families through darkened streets or providing false papers, often at great personal risk. Neighborhoods formed watch groups, not just for protection, but to look out for the vulnerable, the elderly, the sick, and the children left behind. Communal kitchens sprang up, run by volunteers who cooked for the displaced and hungry. These kitchens became places of hope, where people could find a warm meal and a sense of normalcy amid chaos, ensuring the vulnerable were cared for. In one village, Bosniak and Croat leaders secretly pledged to protect each other, refusing to be divided by hatred or fear. Their courage inspired others to reach across lines that war tried to draw between them. These acts didn't always succeed, and sometimes the cost was heartbreakingly high. But they challenged the narrative of inevitable hatred, showing that peace was possible, even if only for a moment. When international aid was absent, community support became the only lifeline. People organized their own relief efforts, sharing what little they had and refusing to let anyone be forgotten. The strength of these communities was measured by compassion, not weapons. In the face of violence, kindness became an act of resistance and empathy a shield against despair. These stories reveal that even in darkness, individuals can choose good. Local heroism shaped survival, and small acts of bravery often made the difference between life and death. The bonds of shared humanity proved stronger than the forces trying to tear them apart. In moments of unity, people remembered that they were neighbors first, not enemies. These unseen acts are vital lessons for us all, reminding us that even in the darkest times, courage and compassion can light the way forward. As war forced hundreds of thousands to flee, the Bosnian diaspora formed a global network of support. Refugees became activists, organizing protests and sharing their stories to demand international action. They documented war crimes, shaping public opinion and pressuring governments to intervene. Beyond advocacy, they sent money and supplies home, often risking their own safety. This support was a lifeline for those trapped in besieged areas. The diaspora's solidarity crossed borders, proving that community is more than geography. Even decades later, they fund reconstruction, education, and remembrance. Their efforts keep the memory of the war alive for new generations. The diaspora's enduring connection shows that shared history and responsibility can outlast even the greatest upheaval. Their unity helped rebuild a nation. The Bosnian diaspora is a powerful example of reclaiming power through community. The war's legacy lives on, but a new generation is shaping Bosnia's future. Young activists, both in Bosnia and abroad, are tackling old problems with new energy. One Bosnian American student raised thousands for the Red Cross by running a marathon and organizing campus events. Youth use social media to raise awareness, build bridges, and fight denial of history. Inside Bosnia, young leaders promote peace education and reconciliation, organizing workshops and cultural exchanges. These efforts break down barriers in a society still marked by division. Youth activism proves that anyone can inspire change. The next generation is determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. Their work lays the foundation for a more peaceful, united society. Today, Bosnia faces a battle over memory, as some leaders deny or downplay atrocities like the Srebrenica genocide. This denial threatens peace and insults victims. Grassroots groups, especially survivors like the mothers of Srebrenica, fight to preserve the truth. They search for loved ones, testify in trials, and lead peace marches. Local communities build memorials and record oral histories, ensuring stories aren't lost. These efforts reclaim the narrative from those who seek to erase it. The fight for memory is a fight for the future. By insisting on truth, communities defend against history repeating itself. Remembering is an act of resistance and hope. 30 years after the war, Bosnia's peace is fragile. Political leaders threaten to dismantle the state, fueling fear and division. Hate crimes and genocide denial are on the rise, especially in Republika Srpska. International responses have been mixed, with some sanctions but little decisive action. The risk of violence is growing, making community resilience more vital than ever. Most citizens still believe in a unified Bosnia, despite divisive rhetoric. The challenge is turning grassroots unity into a force for peace. The lessons of mutual support from the war are needed now more than ever. Amid crisis, hope endures in Bosnia's spirit of unity. Civil society groups work tirelessly for peace, dialogue, and reconciliation. They run education programs, organize joint events, and honor victims of all backgrounds. Ordinary citizens, proud of their shared identity, quietly resist division. This solidarity is the foundation for lasting peace. Bosnia's story is not just one of trauma, but of survival and community power. The same unity that saved lives during war now fuels activism and remembrance. Even after devastation, people can choose a shared future. Bosnia's story is more than history. It's a lesson in the power of community. In the darkest times, ordinary people's courage and compassion shone brightest. From Sarajevo's tunnel to today's youth activism, collective action made survival possible. These stories teach us that unity is an active choice, not a given. Remembering Bosnia's lessons is a shared responsibility. The fight for truth and peace is a human issue, not just a Bosnian one. If you believe in the power of community, support the platforms that share these vital stories. Subscribe for more stories of resilience, justice, and the enduring human spirit.